Hey guys, Long Haul Larry, Big Blue. It is October 16th, 2019. And we are just leaving from the house. We are on our way up to Maricold up in Appleton, Wisconsin. Got ourselves 60 miles to go. And we got a 9 p.m. appointment up there. It's kind of a late appointment. I actually got to hang out at the house last night and part of today. And what did I get done? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I got home. I didn't sleep at all before I got home. I got home. I crawled into bed and I went to sleep and slept like, I don't know, like 6-7 hours. And then I got up and then I visited and stuff for a few hours and stuff. And then I ran to town and took care of a couple little things I needed to take care of. And then I came back and I just didn't feel like doing anything. It's that trucker thing. When you're out on the road for a long time, the first day at home, you just don't feel like moving. You just want to just sit and do nothing. And that's what I did. I sat there and I actually hooked up my PlayStation. And I just sat there and played a video game. And I did that, and then I went on to sleep last night, and I slept all night long. I slept hard. I woke up, and I was looking around, and it's been kind of cold and everything. It's only 44 degrees here. And it's kind of cold and rainy, windy and stuff, and so I pretty much just hung out in the house. And I looked out the window, and I was like, it's kind of like not really bright out, not sunny and stuff, just kind of dark and gloomy. And I thought, well, I wonder if it's early morning or whatever. And I laid there and I think I fell back to sleep, and then I woke up again and I was like, oh, what time is it? I'm like, oh, I can't sleep. I grabbed my phone and looked at it. My phone was dead. I was like, what? And so I got up and went in the other room and looked at a clock, and it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, whoa. I actually really slept hard. So then I just kind of hung out, and I took care of a couple more things, did a bunch of laundry and stuff, and I then packed her up. Now I'm heading up there to get a little bit loaded up, and I'm going to be heading off to Fort Worth, Texas for the load. Back roads, you kind of want to watch out this time of night for deer. Lots of deer out here. Super large metropolis of Dotyville, Wisconsin. It's a large town. I'd actually rather turn left there and then run County H runs me into 151, but the last time I did that, it was closed. I bet you it's open now, but I don't want to take a chance of it. I took a semi down there last time, and that was sketchy, trying to turn around and back in there. I had to back into a person's driveway out in the country, and it was not a big driveway. You guys always like stories and stuff I tell. I got a story for you. You see that house? Here, let's turn this way so you can see it. You see that house that is right there ahead of you? It's nobody lives there anymore. It was actually burned out and stuff. It caught on fire. It was burned out and everything. I'm not gonna say any names of the people who was, but when I was younger, there was there was two brothers. And their family, they lived kind of back by me, but back in the swamp. It was really weird. It was the whole swamp and everything, the whole big tamarack swamp, but then it was like a little spot of land that was raised up in the middle of the swamp, and that's where their house was. It was really weird. And they had some other land back in there and stuff too, and stuff. They had a farm. And they were some big boys, some big fellas. And, you know how, I'm trying to think of what we called it. I can't remember what the name we had called it. But when somebody would take their class ring and would turn it around so that the big part was facing in towards your hand, and then you'd smack somebody on top of the head with that. That one hurts. You just whap them right on the top of the head, and it was like, you see stars and everything. That was them guys. They started that thing in our school. I don't know if anybody else has ever heard of that, but that was their thing, and they'd walk around and do that to like the freshmen, the younger kids and stuff. And they would walk around, and their arms were so long. They would stand there, and their arms would be long as down to their knees. They were just huge guys, and they would swing their arm around in the air and whack somebody on top of the head. And I swear I saw people a couple times just right to the ground, just knock them straight out. It was quite the deal. And those guys there's that bar that was straight across from that house. Well, they lived up on top of that house. And I was pretty close, I think 18 or something like that. And I stopped in there at that bar one time. My brother was there, and I needed to talk to him about something. And so I saw him there, so I stopped there. And I went in there and stuff. And when I walked in, there was a presidential election going on. I don't remember which one it was. But they used to have these little pins. I don't know if you guys remember the old days, the presidential pins you could get all the time, handed out, and they'd just have a little curve pin on the back of them, and you could just like put them on your suit or whatever. And they had to pile these things in the bar. Somebody dropped them off, and trying to get people to wear these pins or whatever. And I walked in there, and one of these brothers was completely drunk. I mean, really bad. And he would laugh, and he would sit there and go, that's all he would do. He was just so bad. And my brother was sitting in there, and the guy who was sitting at the bar, and those presidential pins were there, and this guy was bald too. You gotta understand that. This guy, he was completely bald. The whole family, every one of them, even the girl, was completely bald. And he was sitting there just making these grunting noises, just completely drunk. And he had these pins sitting there, and he would be taking these pins and he would put them up on his head. Right there's the cop. He loves to sit right there. And he was putting them up on his head, and he was like sticking them through his skin a little bit. And he was putting these things all over his head, these presidential pins, and just laughing about it. And there was like a little bit of blood trickles going down his head and stuff where the pin would go into his skin. And he had these things stuck all over his head. And I walked in, and it was like, what is this? And I walked over to my brother, and I said to my brother, I'm like, what is he doing? I said his name, you know. My brother looked at him and goes, don't say nothing. Just sit here. Don't say nothing. And we sat there watching it, and he did this. And he just kept sticking them all over his head. And finally, he had enough, and he pulled them all back out, and he got up and left. It was just a freaky moment. But those two guys, they used to beat up on people. They were just big guys. I'm serious. They were like two apes. They're this huge guys. And they used to beat up on people pretty bad. And they lived up in that apartment up there in that house. And one night they left the bar. They beat somebody up really bad. They left the bar and they went home or whatever. Try to miss that raccoon. I gotta swing this a little wide here. And here we go. I knew that second car was gonna be coming in there on that little S-turn. They left and they went up there, and the guy that they beat up got so upset, I guess it was never found out, it was never proven or something like that. But somebody threw a little bottle of gasoline, little Molotov cocktail, through their window and lit the place on fire with them guys in there. They got out and everything, but the people that owned that house, it was an old piece of junk house anyways, and when it got all burned up, they said, yeah, we're done. So they've never remodeled it. The house is still standing there. Hasn't been anybody who lived in there in, what, 20 years? Something like that. Yeah, we've had some interesting characters out here. There was some interesting times out here. Used to be able to go straight back there. You didn't have to turn on this road, but the DOT in their ultimate wisdom, they decided it was too dangerous to turn onto 151. There used to be an intersection. You could take that road and it'll take you right to 151. You can turn on there. And this guy built a gas station right at the corner of Highway T and 151. He built a gas station there, got it all running, and then it was like 2 years later, he heard that they were going to do this. He heard they were going to put an overpass in there. And so he thought, okay, cool, that's fine. Put an overpass in there, you know, I'll be right here at this exit. It's a pretty big road. And the guy built this gas station, put all this money into it and everything else, and then the DOT came in there a couple of years later, and they redesigned it and everything, and they put an overpass in there, but didn't put it on and off ramps. They just crossed over. You couldn't get on and off at 151. And so then this guy had this gas station for this road, and basically nobody ever goes in there anymore because you can't turn on the road. It just goes into a small street in Fond du Lac. So now everybody turns this way and comes over at Highway 23 and comes into Fond du Lac. The guy was very upset. He actually turned around. I don't know whatever happened with it, but I know that he filed a lawsuit against Fond du Lac County. And filed a lawsuit against, I mean, he couldn't stay in business. There was nothing going on there. And he built, it was a gas station, and he built like an outdoor shopping center type deal. He built this long building, and he put a gas station on the end of it, and then there was like 3 different store locations that were going to be inside of this thing. and he was gonna rent these things out to people. So they put their store in there. They turned around and basically shut the highway down, and there you couldn't get off. He was not happy. Yeah, all them lights up there, that's actually the big metropolis of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. This road is terribly bumpy. October 14th, which pet makes the most noise? Well, that would be a trumpet. Get it? Trumpet. October 15th, what starts with a P, ends with an E, and has 1,000 letters? So what starts with a P, ends with an E, and has 1,000 letters? That's a pretty good one. And I'm going to tell you right now, here's what I'm going to do. I will give out a free t-shirt. You can go to my site, the Long LHL print, and you'll find a link down in the description of this video. And the first person, let's see, how are we going to do this? The next video, here we go. The next video, the first person to comment on the next video I do that has the answer for this will get a free t-shirt. Shipping, whole deal. I'm trying to think if anybody can scam that. I know you guys are going to use Google and stuff to figure this out, but it's a pretty good one. What starts with a P and ends with an E and has 1,000 letters? Okay, here's what we're going to do. The first person to get it, okay, we're going to redo this. Okay, scratch everything. Here we go. The first person to put the comment down in this video with the right answer, the first person to put the comment down in this video with the right answer to this riddle will get a free t-shirt from my print store. So I'll read it one more time. What starts with a P, ends with an E, and has 1,000 letters? So the first person to answer it correctly in the comments of this video will win themselves a t-shirt. And I'll give the answer out to this riddle next video. Okay? I think that's pretty much clear. I know you guys are going to use Google. That was confusing for me for a moment, okay? Hang in there. Alright, today's bad chat joke, October 16th. I got off track there. A lot of people cry when they cut an onion. The trick is not to form an emotional bond. Okay. Ooh, and the next day it's how to order your own bad dad jokes. I need to order another book so I get it for next month. Alrighty guys, so we are done with our break. We ran up here to Americold up in Appleton, Wisconsin. We are loaded up. We have a frozen load and we are heading off towards Fort Worth, Texas. Someplace very unexpected, I know. We have ourselves 43,324 pounds. And when I looked inside the load, it was basically Arby's stuffed peppers. Going to Arby's stores, I guess, in Texas. So is that clear in my head? I'm trying to think. The first person to put the correct answer in the comment of this video will win themselves a free t-shirt out of my store. You can pick whatever t-shirt. Doesn't have to be mine. It could be John's. It could be Boss Man Trucker. you could send us a picture and we'll print one out for you. So there you go. So we are heading off towards Fort Worth, Texas. We have ourselves 1,112 miles to go. And we got to make some tracks. We're going to have an all night of running. I really kind of need to get past St. Louis before morning. Clear that, then I can shut her down and take my 10-hour break. And get up and finish it out tomorrow evening. I had plans of doing things. I'm serious. I was all excited at getting home. I'm telling you, that's really the first time I think I've slept in my bed at home in at least 2 months. I have been home. I've been to the house a couple times. I've stopped in and stuff like that for a few hours, but I've not actually spent the night. The last time that I was around the house, I could have actually spent the night there, but I decided I wanted to run up to, I think it was Wausau I was picking up, and it just made more sense because I needed my hours to run down to, I think it was Texas or whatever, and I needed a full amount of hours to start with, and if I would have started from the house, then I wouldn't have had all my hours. So I decided to not stay at the house. I just stopped in for a few hours, drove up there, and then shut everything down and did my 10-hour break. So as soon as I was loaded, I was out of there. I'm telling you what, it's cold, guys. It is 42 degrees here. This is too cold for this time of year. I mean, if it keeps like this, I mean, we might have snow soon. And that's kind of weird. Because, I mean, like, Thanksgiving is what? What day is Thanksgiving? I can't even think at the moment. What day is Thanksgiving 2019? So November 22nd is Thanksgiving. And, you know, that's deer hunting. And usually it's like really cool if we get like a little bit of snow. You know, it happens once in a while. We may get like a, you know, half inch or an inch of snow or something like that right before Thanksgiving, because what that does is it puts white down in the woods. It puts a white base down, and it helps with the deer hunting so you can see the deer better. And so everybody kind of hopes to get a little bit of snow by then, and it happens once in a while. We might get a little snow by then, but man, we're like a month away from that, and we're down in 42 degrees. It's cold. I'm kind of thinking Thanksgiving's okay, so that's November 22nd. I asked Google, that's what I was talking to. Well, that's at 2018. I don't know if it's a different day this year. But, I can swear I asked 2019, but it says, what day is Thanksgiving 2018? So whatever it is, November or whatever. I'm kind of thinking that's the next time I'm going to take off. I really don't count yesterday as taking off. I mean, I was home for 34 hours, but that wasn't my choice. You know, all I basically got to do was go to sleep. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off like a week at that time, and I'm going to need to do the brakes on Big Blue here. I'm going to do a full brake job, new brake drums, SKM, bushings, everything. So I'll probably talk to the boss, do something like that then. But I'm going to take a full week off, and that'll give me a little bit of time to go home, get a good night's sleep, and then start getting some stuff done. Well, I think I'll just let you guys go. I did get a couple packages when I was home. The post person dropped off some packages that were sitting over there at the post office waiting for me. And they've kind of learned. I have a P.O. box over there, but they've kind of learned I could never get there because I'm going all the time. They call me once in a while, but like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get there. So they kind of just send it out to my house. But I got home and got a couple packages, letter. The package, I did get to see what it is. It's actually pretty cool. And maybe I'll show it to you at the end of this video, which will be like in the morning or something. You can see in the daylight. And I did get a letter from somebody. I haven't read it yet though, so I'll take a look at that. So, I'll catch you guys later. See ya. 3, 2, 1. Well, hey guys, we are down here in Fort Worth, Texas. I got empty this morning in Americold. You guys have seen that place many a times. And I got empty down there, and I decided to just come on over here. This is the next place I'm loading at. It's Dannon. It's right here downtown Fort Worth, and I tell you what, it was a little tricky getting in here. I actually went around this place twice. Went around the block twice just to figure out how to get in here. But getting loaded up. This load is going to be going off to Appleton, Pennsylvania, delivering Sunday night. But I had a little mail this weekend. I got this week when I was at home, and they actually dropped it off at my house. First one is a letter from Mr. Thomas F. Aaron out of Pennsylvania, and he's got Vietnam Veterans of America symbol on here, so he must be a Vietnam veteran. Thanks for your service, Sir Thomas. Got a picture. Says, from the desk of Tom. He says, with the help of Big Blue, LongHaul area is the head turtle herder. And it's a gnome riding a turtle. There you go. And the next thing I got was a little gift. This was from Ken out of Taylor, South Carolina. I kind of think that this was something to do with some videos I've had, and I've actually overslept a couple times in the past. Just been really tired and stuff lately. I don't know what's going on, but I've overslept a few times, and I got home and I had a gift in the mail. It's a truck. It's a little semi, a little model type semi, but it's an alarm clock. And it has working headlights too. It's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. He even sent me batteries too. So I'm gonna get loaded here, and I will be heading off. Ooh, this rim. This rim actually spins. It's got a spinner on it. I'm going to be heading off towards Appleton, Pennsylvania, so I'll see you guys when I get out of here.